Well, good morning, everyone. How you like my new phone? I'm really liking it. Of course, I have to learn a few different things. But anyway, let's sit back. I wanted to talk a little bit about how I feel about homelessness. I think there's so many opinions out there and so many documentaries. In fact, I contacted one gentleman who did a documentary, and I was a little upset with him because he throws everybody in the same pile. Not everybody. Homelessness has different variations. Okay? So to me, homelessness means hopelessness. No security. No society compass whatsoever. They don't know how to deal within society. They have no self-respect, so they have no respect for you or what you own. It's a whole different ballgame. Van life is considered homelessness. Yes and no. There's a huge difference. From the very first, since I've lived in my van, the first 2 years on KFC parking lot, and then these last 4 or 5 years, I've always been accepted by the homeless community. Not everybody in it homeless, but most homeless community people consider me one of them. However, I'm one of them, but in a different way. I have made friends among the community, and everyone that talks to me says, never let any of us, including me, into your van because we'll steal you blind. I wouldn't do that to them. That's a difference. I clean up my whole area wherever I go, and my environment. I take care of my environment. They do not. I'm not saying every one of them. I'm saying the majority do not, because they don't belong in society anymore. I do not step out of my vehicle, squat, and do my business in front of the world. I've been shocked twice, and I need to stop being shocked. I had a young woman walk past. She talked to me, hi, how are you, blah, blah, blah. And within 50 feet of my van, drop her pants, squat, and do her business right in front of me. Another one on the streets of San Francisco a long time ago. I was so shocked. Because that's no self-respect for themselves. Particularly for women. One was a woman, one was a man. So, when people look at this, they have a script. And they go by that script. Everybody's homeless. If you're in a van, you're homeless. No, I don't consider myself homeless at all. Maybe the word is houseless. I don't own a home like society wants me to. But I am not homeless. I have a home. I have something I own that I live in. No matter what it is, I live in it. Whether it's an apartment, a house, a trailer, a van, a car, I own it, and I live in it. A true homeless person owns nothing and lives on the street. I do not. So, I kind of had a long conversation with him discussing, all these documentaries are showing the very negative side, which is a very negative, so don't get me wrong. But there are people out there who do escape homelessness, who have not lost hope of a future, who have not stopped trying to get out of it. They were put there because they lost their home, they lost this. Many things can happen to people, and many do get out and do get a fresh start. I'm not saying a lot, but I'm saying many do. And I've known of a couple couples who have. Usually they need assistance. They need someone to help them get out. Both of these people had friends that said, if you get off the drugs, you get your life together, we'll give you a job, we'll give you a place to live. They had that for them. Hope. They had hope. And they had an opportunity. Many homeless do not have hope because they don't have any opportunity. The family's given up on them, particularly if they've done drugs, because they've gone in and most of them, done their drugs and stolen from the family. And you know the story. I don't need to go there. Some will never get off their drugs. They can't. Many have mental issues. Right now, after the shutdowns, after 2020, 44% of all seniors live in anxiety. Many are going homeless. They're moving into vehicles. I don't know how many are moving into the street, because you can't survive on the street for very long. Unless you're younger, or you can't survive on the street very long, particularly in the summer. So I'm praying not many seniors end up having to do that. But there are different types of homelessness. It's not all the same. Many people have no compassion. Oh, they're druggies, they're this, they're that. Many are, but not everybody. And it's like we're thrown into that mix because somebody wrote a script that said that's what they are. And the reality is I don't consider us that in any shape or form. We don't have a house, but we have a home. We have a home. So I think about this in a lot of ways. How can I explain to someone who considers this homelessness in a different manner? I watch all these old westerns and listen to them, the pioneers. I'm fascinated by the pioneers and our Native Americans who survived without running water, lived in wagons, covered wagons, or teepees. Oh my, the teepees fascinate me. They just fascinate me. But that's not what we have today. So they lived with a pitcher of water and a bowl and sponge bathe every day. We think we have to have a shower. I'm going back to the pioneer ways where I'm saying, no, I can sponge bath every day. I'm just as clean as you are. I don't think I smell. So maybe I'm considering our lifestyle a pioneer, going back to the pioneer days. No running water. But we can get water easily. There's many similarities and many differences. But we can do this, and we don't need to be branded or outcast out of society because we live in a van. I don't consider myself an outcast. I consider myself part of society. I paid my taxes up until I was 76. Going to be 78 this year. I've paid my taxes. I've done community work. I worked hotlines. I know many, many nomads who do community work and have done community work. I've given back to society. So, I ask people to just kind of, look at this as in a different way of life. Maybe not be so judgmental or say things that are harmful when you don't really know. Now, some people cannot make this lifestyle at all. Sometimes I have very high expectations of everybody, and sometimes people don't meet those expectations, and it's because mine were too high. I do see people getting out here and maybe lasting 6 or 7 months, and they can't do it. They're going to be out here again because they don't have any more money than they did from the first time. They've not restructured what they're doing. If you ended up in your vehicle one time, you're going to end up again if you don't restructure your thinking. You're thinking about homelessness. Many people feel degraded by living in a vehicle. Many people feel they've failed at life. Without changing your mindset, without looking at the world in a different manner and at life in a different manner, if you don't stop, hey, what are you doing? I'm sorry. You're not going to make it. That's Marley, my dog. You know Marley. She's a mess. So we need to really, I guess my video is talking about the different things that can happen. If you can give a homeless person help, whether it be you're just serving free food, that's great. But they don't need your money. They need your help, your interest. They need a place to go. They need hope. Not money, hope. Which is really, really important. Because they're hopeless. They don't have a future, they don't think. And it's day to day looking at nothing. They're in nothing. They have nothing. They will be nothing. I think the help comes from that. And looking at people differently than we do. And particularly the people who are living in vehicles. Many of them have been forced to do so. So try not to judge them too much, please. It doesn't help the scenario. If we're going to help the homeless, we have to look at it differently and not just about handouts. I thank you for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing. And I'll see you next time.